Justin Holiday on the surface has had an average NBA career. 665 career games over 11 NBA seasons, while giving solid minutes to whatever team he's played for. Even at the age of 34, Holiday is still contributing to the Denver Nuggets on their attempt to go back-to-back. But the journey to get there is one that not a lot of people talk about. So, let's talk about it. Justin Holiday is the oldest of the three Holiday brothers who play in the NBA. He played his college basketball at Washington, where he would have a pretty good career, playing all 4 years and being considered one of the best perimeter defenders in the Pac-10 conference. Sadly, this wasn't good enough to get him drafted in the 2011 NBA draft, so Holiday would play in Belgium for a season. His performance in Belgium was good enough to earn Justin Holiday a spot on the Cleveland Cavaliers Summer League roster and eventually be signed by the Cavs. But 9 days later, the Cavs would waive him before Holiday could even play a game. The Portland Trail Blazers then picked Justin up, and then also waived him shortly after. Luckily, just a few days later, the Idaho Stampede would acquire Justin Holiday. So just to look back, in the span of 1 month, Justin Holiday was signed by 2 NBA teams, didn't play a single game for either of them, and was waived by both of them, spending a grand total of 27 days in the NBA. But in 47 games with Idaho, Justin would play really well. 17 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 2.4 steals, and shooting 41% from 3. This was good enough for Justin to earn a chance with the Philadelphia 76ers, being signed on April 1st. And in 9 games with Philadelphia, Justin would have some below average numbers, shooting 25% from 3 and 33% from the field, which is not exactly what NBA teams are looking for from 3-and-D wings. And that wasn't really how Justin normally played. Usually he was a pretty consistent shooter. Justin had finally played in an NBA game, and was being given a spot in the rotation. Although after playing with the 76ers in the Summer League the next season, he was waived. And then in September, Justin Holiday would be signed by Utah, but was once again waived in October after the preseason. So in 1 calendar year, Justin Holiday was on 4 different NBA teams and a D-League team. But now Justin was forced to go overseas once again, being signed to play in Hungary. A lot of guys would possibly settle down as a career EuroLeaguer and accept that playing in the NBA just might not be for them. Luckily for Justin, after spending a season in Hungary, he got something a lot of guys don't get in pro basketball: a second chance. The Golden State Warriors wanted to take a chance on Justin and give him a Summer League roster spot, and the Warriors would go on to sign him to an NBA contract. He did end up spending 1 day in the D-League early in the year, but other than that, Justin was a full-time NBA player, playing in 59 games, shooting almost 40% from the field, and scoring 4 points per game on a team that would go on to win an NBA championship. After spending 3 years bouncing around the entire basketball world, Justin Holiday had finally arrived. He would go on to sign a 2-year, $1.9 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks, but after just 26 games in Atlanta, he was traded to Chicago. And after just 27 games in Chicago, he was traded to New York as a part of the Derrick Rose trade. Sadly, Justin was earning the reputation of a journeyman. But on the flip side of that, he was seen as a guy who could play anywhere, and he would produce on both ends of the floor. And playing for a lot of NBA teams is better than playing for no NBA teams. In New York, Justin would play very well, appearing in all 82 games and averaging good numbers off the bench. After his contract was up, Justin would go back to Chicago for a 2-year, $9 million contract. And in the 2017 to 2018 season is where Justin Holiday would put up the best numbers of his career: 12 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and 35% from the three-point line. But this didn't stop the Bulls from trading him to Memphis in January of the next season. And by this point, you are probably wondering, when is Justin Holiday going to catch a break and find a team where he can stay for a few years? Well, luckily for both you and Justin Holiday, he would find that with the Indiana Pacers. He actually signed 2 contracts with the Indiana Pacers, one being a 1-year, $4.8 million deal, and the other being a 3-year, $18 million deal. As of right now, the Pacers are the team that Justin has spent the most time with, playing in almost 200 games while wearing the blue and gold. And he was good, shooting around 40% from 3, averaging almost 10 points, and bringing that same good perimeter defense during his time with the Pacers. Justin thought he found a home in Indianapolis, but sadly the Pacers would trade him to Sacramento as a part of the Tyrese Halliburton trade. Justin Holiday actually left the Pacers as one of the better three-point shooters in franchise history, ranking 10th all-time in three-pointers made, and has the dubious honor of ranking 7th all-time in turnover percentage. And since being traded to Sacramento, Justin has been doing what he normally does, shooting threes and playing for a lot of teams. He would return to Atlanta in 2022, but was bought out in February. He was then picked up by Dallas, but has spent this past season with the Denver Nuggets, as I mentioned earlier. And Justin is actually playing really well for them. He said that the Nuggets have helped him believe in the NBA once again. Personally, I felt really bad when the Pacers traded him. I'd seen how he embraced being a Pacer and how much he loved the city of Indianapolis. He always gave it everything he had for some of the worst Pacers teams that I have ever seen. We did not deserve Justin Holiday, and I wish he could have survived the rebuild to enjoy the rewards that guys like Miles Turner are enjoying now. But I'm glad that Denver is treating him right, and I hope he can finish out his career without playing for an additional 2 or 3 teams. And just to total it up if you're wondering, Justin has spent time with 2 teams overseas, 2 D-League teams, and 13 different NBA teams, for a total of 17 teams in 13 years. Just seeing that stat makes me cringe. Obviously, Justin is doing very well for himself, but it still must be tough for a guy who seemingly buys into every team that he plays on wholeheartedly. And for all of them to trade or waive him at some point or another just seems criminal. I know the NBA is a business, but Justin Holiday might be the least deserving player to have a journeyman career. I do think he is happy though. He gets to play the game that he loves and is paid very well to do so. He might not be considered the most successful Holiday brother, but he will always be my favorite. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video on Justin Holiday because I was thinking about it and just how wild his career has been, how crazy his journey's been to get to the NBA and stay in the NBA. And I'm just glad that he's still on an NBA roster, he's still contributing to a team, like he's still playing well. So good for him. I just hope he can finish out his career in Denver or with a team that really appreciates him. I don't want him to bounce around a lot more because he probably only has, 2 or 3 years left. So I hope he can just kind of sit back and enjoy playing in one city instead of being moved around like he has been for all of his career. Anyways, I'm Limbless Pulls. I'll see you guys next time.
It's like, nigga, put it in the blender. Hell yeah, Wingstop. Jump on the chicken tender. It's like the beef with energy and water like Kimber. Hey, turning, looking like dinner. It's like got the bag, boy or girl.